Hey, what's up guys? I'm BTC. Have you ever opened a loot box in Overwatch and wondered what the exact drop rates for the different items are? For the legendaries, for the epics, the skins, the sprays, the voice lines, the highlight intros, all that stuff. What are the exact drop rates for them? Now, some people have done some testing in the past where they look at different loot box videos from a variety of YouTubers and streamers, and they kind of try to figure out what roughly the drop rates are, but we don't know the exact rates. Well, starting sometime early next year, we might actually get that information, but not because Blizzard actually wants to give out that information, but because China may actually force them to. Now, you might be wondering why Chinese law would force an American company to give up this information, and basically it has to do with the fact that Blizzard makes a lot of money in China, and whenever a company wants to do business in a different country, they basically have to follow the rules, and with China, they are really strict on some stuff. Now, other companies also do this. I mean, Facebook and Google are working with a bunch of different countries, including China, to outright censor content, restrict speech, all that sort of stuff. Now, Blizzard isn't doing anything that bad, but they do have to change some of the assets in-game in order to meet up with the way that China wants things to look and how they want their games to be run. For instance, World of Warcraft in China has a built-in timer that will more or less lock you out of the game after a couple of consecutive hours, and you have to stay logged out of the game for a certain period of time. I believe it's about 5 hours or more in order to actually allow your character to start gaining experience and stuff again. I don't know the exact specifics of all the details of their kind of lockout policy, but basically it's a way for them to control addiction is what they call it. So, you know, Blizzard had to conform, and they went and they did it. And then when they were putting out other expansions, they also have to change a lot of the art assets in game. Anything with like blood or skeletons or skulls or all that sort of stuff in the Chinese version of the game, Blizzard had to take all of that out. In fact, in some of the areas of the game, a lot of the places that had like rotten meat or just like flesh or some sort of carcass on the ground, it's really funny because all of it was changed to like loaves of bread, and one of the bosses actually has like kind of exposed like flesh and muscle and meat and stuff, and they actually changed it to bread, so the boss has like loaves of bread like attached to him, and it just looks really silly. But anyways, Blizzard makes a lot of money in China, and it's not just games either. Remember the World of Warcraft movie? Well, it cost $160 million to make. In the US, it only made $47 million. Now, luckily for Blizzard, it sold like crazy over in China. In fact, of the entire $433 million that the movie made worldwide, more than half of it, $220 million, came from China alone. So if the Chinese government tells Blizzard, hey, if you want to continue selling loot boxes, then you have to do this and this, then Blizzard's gonna do it. And as for the specifics of what the law says, here's the translation. It says, online game publishers shall promptly publicly announce information about the name, property, content, quantity, and the draw probability of all virtual items and services that can be drawn on the official website or a dedicated draw probability webpage for the game. The information on draw probability shall be true and effective, meaning they're not going to give like a rough estimate. Blizzard would have to say, you have exactly this percentage chance to get a legendary. You have exactly this percentage chance to get a spray or whatever. The next part says, online game publishers shall publicly announce the random draw results by customers on notable places of official website or in-game, and keep record for government inquiry. The record must be kept for more than 90 days. When publishing the random draw results, some measures should be taken to protect user privacy. Oh, that's nice of them, thinking about user privacy. So not only would Blizzard have to give the exact details on what the probability chance for drawing this or that is, but they would also have to provide all of that data, like all the people that open the loot boxes and stuff. They would have to show, like, we had, this many legendaries that people opened, and this many epics, and this many rares, and this many commons, and stuff like that, as a way of kind of proving that the percentages that they quoted are actually being fulfilled. Now, you might be saying, well, I don't live in China, so how is this going to matter to me? Well, Blizzard is probably going to use the same percentage for loot boxes in China as they're going to use everywhere else. So once they are forced to provide that information to China, then basically everybody else will know it as well. Now, it is possible that they could make the Chinese loot boxes, a little bit better, like maybe you have a higher chance to get a legendary or something like that than everywhere else, but I don't know if Blizzard's really gonna want to mess with that. I think they're probably just gonna keep the probability of getting, this or that or whatever the same throughout all of their different markets. So once we find out the numbers for the loot boxes in China, then pretty much everybody else should know what they are as well. Now, from a consumer standpoint, this is actually pretty good, because I know you can get free loot boxes in game, but you can also buy them with real money. And if you're paying real money for, a loot box or whatever, a chance to get stuff, then as the consumer, you should be able to know what your chance is of getting certain stuff. I mean, you're paying for it, right? You're coughing up your hard-earned money for this. So, I mean, even when you go to, like, the lottery and stuff, I know lottery isn't available everywhere, but, like, scratch tickets or, when you play, like, numbers games and stuff, like, they always tell you, like, you have a 1 in umpteen billion trillion chance of winning, whatever, the grand prize. So, from a consumer standpoint, it is nice to know what your chance of actually getting stuff is. And this isn't going to stop with just Overwatch and loot boxes either. If you play Hearthstone, I'm willing to bet that they're going to have to give you the exact hard numbers for what your chances of getting, legendary or the epics and all the other good cards and stuff in Hearthstone as well. But anyways, I thought this was really interesting and wanted to share it with you guys. So let me know what you think about all of this stuff. Is it a good idea that Blizzard gives out the exact numbers for what your chance to get stuff, the legendaries, the epics, and everything else, in the loot boxes? Would you like to know it? Or would you prefer it to be a little bit more of a mystery kind of deal? But let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Hey guys, if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe, because there's lots more Overwatch on the channel. Remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.